That's a problem. He's going to be a problem
for everybody.
He's going to be a problem, bro.
Speed is bananas.
Yeah.
You ever seen him shadow box, like throw combinations?
Bro.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Is this sped up?
He's got a good boxing IQ, fundamentally solid. He's better served to box on the outside with the always dangerous Tank Davis.
Him too, but he's really come into his own because the guy who was in the gym that everybody saw coming up has been realized now.
Lamont Roach has been forewarned by Joe Rogan that Gervonta Davis appears frightful in his most recent workout video. He draws attention to Tank's remarkable speed, deft maneuvers, and effective combat style. Now that Tank's game appears to be flawlessly tuned for the rematch, Rogan thinks he poses a real threat to anyone in the ring.
You have to. And for Gervonta, that was perfect, because I would love to see Ryan Garcia, the one that we saw fully hydrated against Devin Haney, against Gervonta.
That's a problem. He's going to be a problem
for
bro.
everybody.
He's going to be a problem, bro.
Speed is bananas.
Yeah.
You ever seen him shadow box, like throw combinations?
Oh, yeah, bro.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Is this sped up?
Oh,
How are you so fast?
Yeah. It's not fair.
He might have one of the fastest left hooks I've ever seen.
For sure.
I mean, it's right up there with everybody, all the great left hookers of the past.
But the crazy thing is, like, bro, he don't even bring it out. He just goes from right here.
Right there.
Pa!
Whip. Like a whip.
One of boxing's most esteemed brains, Teddy Atlas, was unreserved in his description of Gervonta Davis. According to him, Davis blends quick reflexes, athleticism, and wise judgment in the ring. Atlas underlined how Davis is in a different league due to his in-ring IQ. He is among the most effective fighters of our time because of his timing, countering skills, and angle awareness. Atlas claims that Davis has a significant advantage over rivals due to his knowledge of the sport, and he is currently among the best fighters in the world because of that advantage. Possibly the greatest value for the money.
I like the way that he boxes. He's versatile. You know, he could do a lot of things. He could go get you. He's got the attitude of a fighter. He's not a huge puncher. Obviously, Tank Davis is the puncher in this, but Roach can go get you, but he can box. I think he's better served. He's got long arms, good length. He's better served. He's got a good boxing IQ, fundamentally solid. He's better served to box on the outside with the always dangerous Tank Davis. Box, see if he can get it done. Angles, pot shot, be disciplined enough to do that all night long. I think he should stay away from trying to go on the inside, which again, he's got the attitude of a real fighter, which you love. And I wouldn't be shocked if Roach said, oh, no, I'm going to go inside sometimes. I don't know that would be the best choice. He knows how to do it if he wants to. At the end of the day, all of what I said, Bud, it's one thing that really makes the day. It's not because Tank Davis is just undefeated. It's not because Tank Davis is just a great puncher. He's just a full package. He's really, really the full. I don't make him pound for pound up there. He's up there in the top 5 pound for pound. I don't put him there because he's a puncher. I put him there because he is a complete darn fighter. He can go get you. He can fight in the trenches. He can go to the body, the head. He can use his legs when he has to. He can set traps. He can counterpunch.
Not everyone in the boxing community is thrilled with the rematch. They're glad it's coming up so quickly. Tension hasn't decreased since the contentious outcome of the first meeting. Discussions on the result are still rife on social media and in online forums. By consenting to a rematch right away, both boxers are taking advantage of the momentum. The rematch's timing resolves unanswered problems and keeps the story moving. Many are grateful that Davis took the initiative to address the topic immediately and didn't allow it to linger for months.
Big credit here because I have a lot of criticism for Gervonta Davis and Canelo Alvarez for the choice of opponents. But at least Gervonta Davis is doing the Mayweather. He's giving the immediate rematch.
Right.
You had a tough fight, you're doing the immediate rematch. I like it.
All right, so what I'm
I need to push back real quick.
Yeah, I knew you would. Go ahead.
Push back. I'm giving the guy credit.
I like Gervonta Davis. I know you talk a lot about his opponents and whatever, and you're talking about the Lamont Roach.
We're not going to pick a but okay, find me a less than a 10-1 underdog and he fought on pay-per-view.
Look, I'm talking about this fight right here. Look at the first fight. So picking Lamont Roach. You're saying, oh, he's basically cherry picking is what you're alluding to. He has a history with the guy. They've been in the gym together. They sparred together. They fought in the amateurs. He knew the level that Lamont brought. Also, Lamont's one of those guys. You ask anybody in the boxing world, they know how good Lamont is, and it's like his record. Leading up to him getting to the title shot or getting his title win, it's kind of like, the Jamel Herring fight's really hard to forget. He struggled with some guys that you wouldn't expect him to, but he's really come into his own because the guy who was in the gym that everybody saw coming up has been realized now. So I don't think Gervonta Davis was handpicking an easy guy in Lamont Roach. Stylistically, listen, Gervonta's team's not dumb. They look at what this guy can do and where he can give him troubles. And it certainly worked out that way. Did they overlook him a little bit in terms of being like, I beat him back then. He struggled here and there. I'm just too good. I'm on a different level. I think that Lamont really stepped up. So I'm going. So, Gervonta's that good, but guess what? So's Lamont.
So I was exaggerating. That's what you're saying. I'm exaggerating.
You tend to be hyperbolic at times, yes.
How dare he?
Never afraid to commend technical mastery, Joe Rogan brought attention to a distinctive aspect of Davis's strategy. Davis doesn't come out swinging wildly in the early rounds, he explained. Rather, he learns his opponent's rhythm during those rounds, observing his strengths and weaknesses. Davis strikes when he comprehends the opposing fighter's movement. Rogan thinks that Davis's lethality stems from this patience. He believes that Davis will have the chance to demonstrate this skill even more precisely in the rematch. According to Rogan, the knockout might occur swiftly and decisively if Davis examines Roach's tactics early on.
No, it's actually my fucking wake up from my nap alarm.
You got naps incorporated into your day?
Not always, but just in case,
Every now and then.
Yeah,
sleep.
every now and then, a little sleep. Not too much though.
How many have you changed as you've gotten older? Have you changed your workout routine? Have you done anything? Yeah.
Yes, no. So I one thing I like to do is obviously shock my body, but I also like to get like long training sessions in. I remember Bernard Hopkins would talk about it a lot, like where he would just do the basics for a very, very long time and just doing it. And it's very boring and monotonous just for me to like just throw one jab constantly, things like that. But I feel that it just like re-sparks maybe things that I should be sharpening up. And it becomes cardio at some point, as I'm doing it for so long, it becomes cardio, and it becomes specific cardio to what I'm doing. So a lot of my sessions, I'll have like a 2 to 3 hour session first thing in the morning when I'm nice and strong and I have the full gas tank. Then I'll take my little break and then I'll have like another session at night. But it's not always like that. Sometimes when I don't have a fight, I'll do 3 sessions a day, but they won't be like crazy. It'll be maybe a strength and conditioning that lasted about 45 minutes to an hour and 15. And I took a big break. Then I came back in the midday, had like a good technique session where I'm just focused on positions that I'm not efficient in, just doing them over and over and over. And I used to do a lot more live.
There was something strange about Davis in the first fight. His fists lacked the same intent and his movements lacked intensity. The sharpness was lacking, whether it was due to overconfidence or extraneous distractions. That has now changed. Recent photos from his training camp reveal a totally different Davis 1, who appears to be focused, emotionally stable, and psychologically aware. The mindset is obviously different this time around, and he's coming into the rematch like a man with something to prove.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That was burning my eyes, so I cut that off.
It is increasingly thought that during their initial meeting, Davis did not take Roach seriously. Perhaps his preparedness was influenced by his perception of Roach as merely another stepping stone. Fans were stunned by the performance, which also revealed its shortcomings. However, that lesson was effective. House Davis is taking no chances this time. Analysts claimed that his current level of discipline is unheard of prior to the initial altercation. It's a negative indicator for Roach that he is approaching this fight as though it were against a strong contender.
Quick one from me, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch has been set. We expected it to happen. I think after the first fight, Tank was kind of like, if he wants to fight him or not, but we all kind of knew what else is there for both. Well, there is stuff for them both to go off and do, but it was Tank's first time actually going to a draw, so he knew they were going to want to run it back. They're probably going to make way more money from this rematch too. How do I think it goes? Man, listen. Tank, when he's fighting in the pro fight, he's a counter puncher. Through and through, he's a counter puncher. Low volume, counter puncher. Lamont Roach was able to use his feet, don't want to go in and out the pocket, know how to block the shots, and also he rolled a lot of the shots very, very well as well. So Tank wasn't really able to get the shots off that he does. With Tank, to a degree, it's almost like, if I don't knock you out, I'm pissed. Kind of like Wilder-esque. Wilder, one with the Luis Ortiz fight, the second fight, Wilder barely threw a punch that whole fight until he knocked him out in the 7th or 8th round. It's kind of like with Tank as well. And it's a shame because I think Tank is better than that. I think he's like that. If you go back and watch one of his old clips when he used to spar in the Mayweather gym, he wasn't counter punching so much. He was coming forward a bit more. Maybe because they got head guards on and bigger gloves. Maybe he felt more comfortable doing it. But he wasn't so much of a. He wasn't primarily counter punching in those clips we saw. It wasn't clips of a whole fight, but those clips that we did see. I know he has it in him to be more than just a counter puncher, but it seems like when it comes to the pro rank, it's just what he's resigned himself to want to do. It'd be interesting. I thought the first time Tank would beat him, because what Roach showed me before that didn't really show you a guy who would win. Into the second fight, if Tank goes in again with the same kind of tactics, he could very well lose on points. Roach was able to keep his legs for all 12 rounds and kind of fight at the same pace. Tank's power didn't really phase Roach. Now, I'm not saying it won't in the second fight, but it did it in the first fight. So it'll be interesting to see how the fight goes. It'll be fun to watch. I'll be definitely tuning in. How do you think it goes? Do you think Tank can get the win this time or not? I would be more inclined to think maybe Tank can actually do it this time, and he will probably let his hands go a bit more. But look, Roach was doing great counter punches himself. But when Tank did let his hands go, Tank was missing and paying for it at the end of the day. I don't know. It's going to be a good fight. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. Maybe after this is all done, one of these guys can move on and Tank can finally go and fight the Shakurs of the world, because the Hanleys he's moved up now. So we'll see. How do you think this fight goes? It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Davis has officially launched training camp for his highly anticipated August rematch. And this time, it's anything but a routine tune-up. The controversial ending of the first bout has pushed him into full war mode. Determined to leave no doubts, he's ramped up every aspect of his preparation. Longer sessions, tougher sparring, and a sharp focus on conditioning. With Las Vegas set to host the rematch, the stakes are sky high. Inside the gym, there's a new intensity. Davis isn't just training to win, he's training to dominate. This rematch has evolved into something deeper than pride. It's about legacy. After a performance that didn't reflect his best, critics began to question him. That doubt has become fuel. Every day, Davis is grinding harder, staying later, and zeroing in on every detail, especially speed, defense, and ring IQ.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They say it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident, because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off. I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You're going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much. You was overconfident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like, I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont. This from the same camp. We from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that like got to step back from the situation. That's why I think he being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, you know, a little bit more in the boxing, you know, thing. Of course, once you with Floyd, you gonna start being flashy and doing backflips off the ring. But in his beginning stages, dude wasn't playing. He was dropping I think that's what he about to go to, bro. And we know that people like, man, did he take Calvin off his team? Nah, like he said, Calvin, his boy. I think he's just rocking with somebody else right now to get him some sharper skills, you know, to change up his skill and what people know him by. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think Tank go take it to Lamont. And that's not me being biased. I think we ain't ever seen Tank like this before. And Lamont, I see your mindset. You keep nagging about that win you should have got. Focus on the new fight. Stop talking about, I should have won. You know why? You know why he's feeling like that? Because that's like one in a lifetime. He feel like nobody got that close. I should have took the belt right there. Now I ain't gonna never get that shot again, because he know that that boy Tank done buckled up, done cleaned up his mess, and he ready to go. And it's not the same. It's not the same Tank. You mean Tank? You done gave Tank enough time to think about who you are as a boxer and break you down. Yeah, he's cooked. Remember I told y'all what's gonna happen in August. He's cooked. And I feel like Tank, he walking him down. Like, yeah, watch this. I'm about to make an example, because Tank gonna want to be able to tell everybody to shh.
He knows what's on the line. This isn't just about revenge. It's about reminding the world who he is. The goal is clear. Silence the critics, reclaim respect, and prove he still rules the division.
We got to talk about it. So, Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter, because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against a Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else, and that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was gonna look at them like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, got all his receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Lamont Roach, he feels that he won. Like, do you think the best thing going forward, they should just run it back, have a rematch?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think a rematch is definitely called for. And I think probably, the sooner the better. So I would say, hey, let's work on a deal to where we could get in there within the next 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, I agree.